to all right, cool. So maybe you can just start from the beginning of that sentence. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as I said, it's hot today. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, so you got a prefix letter as in Tibetan, right? For example, then you have the middle part, let's say, carrying the meaning, head, root, foot, first suffix, second suffix. And that's also kind of a scheme you can lay over Chinese syllables, where you say, for example, I will finish that document quickly. I would say 4 slots, saying the first can be like nothing, or can take a certain consonant, then a vowel, or a diphthong, or even sometimes it forms together a triphthong, if that's a thing.
A what?
A triphthong instead of a diphthong.
Oh, I hear you. Okay, instead of a diphthong. Okay.
Is that something you would say?
Diphthong. Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
Diphthong.
And
so is that like including the like the tonal quality? Like in this example, we have way or way. It's like the EI is the diphthong, and then the tone would be the triphthong.
I would consider this a diphthong, I guess. Yeah. And then I just want to finish. We were 3, and now 4. There can be. I just give you some examples. So, for example, what have we here? Maybe let's take one from the first lesson. I think there was something useful there. Oh yeah, that's good. For example, that first one of the first is like, where's my plus? So there you have, for example, 1. It's in the first one of the first examples. It's in example 1, 10,000. You start with a consonant W, wa. It's like in Washington, wa. In Chinese, they don't have that the German W, but of course we don't bother about that. Then an R. Then you can have something, maybe something else. Like instead of the R, you can have a diphthong like I or way. And then in the end, you can have 2 consonants only in the end. It's N or NG, which makes it That's like a scheme you can lay over many most.
The consonants are only N or NG for suffix.
Yeah. It's either N, NG, or nothing. It just ends in a diphthong or a vowel. Or, yeah. That makes it way easier. But
yeah.
the first, for example, new means bright for most of the time. I mean, there are many or name. What else do we have? We have maybe something more advanced, let's say. Then we have the syllable sh+u+a+ng, it's like double. You probably are gonna see that sooner or later, or you probably saw that one. So I want to give you a scheme to really see how all these characters, how all these syllables can be broken down into 4 parts. Not necessarily including or not filling into every slot. I mean, there's also That's silly. We're not doing maths here.
Ah,
Yeah, that's
so in your scheme here of writing, the parentheses are just there's nothing there.
yeah, just nothing there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so maybe why don't we look at a couple, because I just want to be able to like identify this like at least like some parts of the syllable, like let's take the first one that you the 10,000 on, like which part of the syllable is the vowel and which part is the suffix or the first. What are the four part of the different parts of that?
In the character, you mean?
Yeah, in the character. Like how do I see that in the character?
Well, there's no way to see that.
There's no way to see that.
You just have to attach it in your mind somehow. There's just
Okay.
no way. Yeah. That character particularly is a bit, particular because it doesn't work in the way that sh+u+a+ng we would talk about taking like something that is meaningful and taking something carrying the sound. And all these characters are quite you just have to memorize the syllable. There's no way around that.
So then for a different example, like we have ren as man, people, the first one, and then ba as 8, and they look very, very similar, but those strokes are not related to the sound at all.
Nope. You just have to you just have to memorize
Okay.
these very basic characters. I think when we go through it, I can point out to you characters that work that way, and maybe you get. For me, it was getting a feeling for it. There's really no way around just memorizing characters over characters. I'm sorry. That's how
it is what it is. Because that's what I keep wanting is like, I mean, I really like, I'm craving an alphabet. It's like, yeah.
We can talk about that too. I mean, in case you could purchase that Matthews, the dictionary. Yeah, maybe, or doesn't matter. You also can use Pleco, and Pleco also has these, the jigsaw puzzle piece, right?
Okay.
They can see all possible parts that can be, or all possible, let's say, elements that can be parts of Chinese characters. That's not like just an alphabet, but it's quite extensive. But some of the characters are just used as they are. I think it's around 150 basic characters you would have to memorize, but I don't recommend it because getting through meaning. I mean, that's all what we do, right? We're looking always for meaning in writing and stuff. Not having such a, let's say, perspective like to try to break every character down beforehand, kind of is not really possible. I think maybe for me it is wasn't possible because you have to get through it. You have to get into it by having some content. You can, for example, memorize, or you can just read and read again, and then you get used to how these characters are built, how they look like. It's I like to describe it as a net. First, you have just one string because that doesn't hold anything, right? Then you have another string and another, and the more strings you have, the stronger is your net, and the more or the easier it gets to attach more strings, kind of, because you already have a net that gives you some structure. So it's really, yeah, it's a long process.
And so like related words or I guess related syllables will have just a different string in that net.
Yeah, I'm thinking, of course, I'm thinking now from a everyday life or from modern Chinese, because you start introducing yourself and then there are already quite advanced characters in just an introduction. Self-introduction, yeah. So it's not, let's say, not learned from the alphabet, it's learned right from the characters. That can be super complicated, but maybe have very simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
well, I think I'll keep trying to memorize the ones in this primer, and I think I'm probably already what 30-40 characters deep or something like that. So if I can get 200 or something, I'll feel probably a lot better.
It's the same as in every language. Just keep going, and sooner or later you're. Yeah, but you see, what one problem I have with that primer that may not be a problem to you, because there are also the Sanskrit considerations, Nyagrodha, Kashyapa, and so on. That, they're using characters just for their sound value. And I'm sometimes not sure whether these names are speaking names, that it would, because back in the days they would probably try to memorize certain concepts from Sanskrit using Chinese characters that make also sense in Chinese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know how much that may confuse.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that yet. I mean, like, I'm even just trying to memorize the sounds is like ridiculously strange for me. Like, I'm mostly just trying to lock the image of the character into my mind. But I think I'll get more into the sounds as I continue. I have some grammatical questions. Maybe that would help us, unless you have things you want to say, because I've only got like another 10-12 minutes or so before I have to go do this other thing.
No, I'm already making up some scheme, or how I will show you how these characters are built up. Yeah, but yeah, sure. What about grammar?
Yeah, let's see here. So let's start with 2 point, or no, I'm sorry, it's yeah, I guess it's 2.1. Yeah, the sentence on 2.1. Yeah. So he in the key gives when the Buddha was in the flower grove, or not the flower cave in the grove of Anathapindika, something like that. Where is the when? There's no word for when that I see in this sentence. Like in Tibetan, we would say duna or something like that, at that time, say na, something like that. But I don't see anything that's like locating it as a when this is happening, as opposed to just the Buddha in there as just a statement of fact.
No, there's no temporal in that Chinese sentence. It just says, yeah, probably it's embedded in embedded in all these stories, and you would know, or the Buddha would, except for the monsoon time, otherwise he would walk from place to place to teach, and so he kind of, as if the Chinese sentence seems to imply that it's totally normal for the Buddha to be sometimes there, sometimes in, what is the place? In Shravasti, sometimes somewhere else. So it's not necessarily needed in the Chinese. Yeah,
Okay.
just, the Buddha was in Shravasti, and that was happening.
Okay. So it's just an intuitive that we can put that in. Cool.
Yeah.
And then the other one I was looking at is in
Yeah, you know, Chinese, classical Chinese tends to be, or that kind of vernacular, because it's not purely classical Chinese, I would say, but it's very close.
okay.
You'd say it's rather to, let's say, on a scale, when you have modern Chinese on the one hand, and on the one side, and classical Chinese on the right side, it tends very strongly to the classical side.
I see. Okay. And then I'm looking at 2.4.
Yeah.
So this one has 3 different little sub sentences with they're all describing the Buddha, or like the qualities of the Buddha. And so it's like, if I'm reading it left to right, it looks like Buddha has, like, is morality, something like that for the first little.
Yeah. The sh sometimes, and in this case, today it's the equivalent to be, often it is, but in this case, it certainly is a demonstrative. Like this, he has the morality precepts like this. He has dharma, is dharma for most of the time, like this, and he has this kind of wisdom inside, or this wisdom inside. Yeah.
Okay.
And
so, but like the organization, like the order of it, they put the like before the verb, or and there's also no there's no demonstrative pronoun like this, you know, or is it all, is that pronoun is implied in the how do you pronounce it, the like particle
you mean where is it? Yeah, sure. When I want to write Chinese, you know, here, here it is. You mean that one?
yes, that one.
It's pronounced rule.
Rule.
Yeah, like.
And is the demonstrative include, like, implied with that? It is like this.
The sh, the character after this is sh. So he has like this a dharma. You would, yeah, you can, to bring it into English, you can bring, you can use an indefinite article, I guess, or maybe,
So
even a definite article.
It's a sh for the is, because I think it's taught, yeah, she. That's is, or to be. Oh, it does have this. It could be this.
Yeah, it is this.
Okay.
Like he has like this the dharma. He has like this the precepts, and yeah, it's a bit, yeah. When you bring it like literally into English, but Chinese tends to be very, very. I always think of it. You have to downgrade your expectations on the grammar because they just put meaning. There's just no real. It's just a flow of characters putting, giving you a certain meaning, but there's very little grammar actually, very little syntax.
I see. I see. Okay. And then yeah, I think it's kind of the same thing with the genitive particle, like his or something. Where is it? Well, I'm not sure where it is, but I think it's probably the same principle that you're talking about. Like I would expect there to be a genitive, but there doesn't seem to have that kind of thing.
I can look for it in the. I mean, there's something in the genitive. It's a genitive. Okay. Okay. It's 4.3. Yes, it says a possessive.
Possessive. Okay. Okay.
I mean, it's the first one. There are certainly other. I mean, do you what part of it, like what example?
I had one. I just can't seem to locate it offhand here. I might have to track it down again. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is. It's okay, honestly, because I have to go do some stuff right in the next few minutes, so we can probably tie it up here. This was good though. Like honestly, this has helped me, and I'll keep keep rolling on finishing some of this content.
I hope just telling you that you have to memorize characters doesn't curb your enthusiasm in so much of a way, but yeah, it's just how it is. I mean, I will give you examples. I will make it the real old school way with pen and paper and so on, and show you how characters made and maybe are made, and maybe that makes it a bit clearer to you, and maybe gives you some structure for studying. I mean, if you're really into it and become a character freak, that's of course very fine. But yeah, I try gather some useful characters. And yeah, I mean, I can use the primer too, of course, to look for.
Yeah, and I think we'll have some other resources too that Anna has found. So, all right, I'm gonna stop the recording and let's see, or if I can stop. Where is the recording? Stop.